Hi, welcome to another video of this series. Today we will learn how to add finishers for our character. The first step is open weapon state and go all the way to combat setup, finishers data, and open your finisher data table. Remember, you can duplicate this finisher data table so you can assign it for different weapon states. I have here a test finishers. And as you can see, it's empty. The first step is we're going to add a new row. The row is literally the name of the enemy that these finishers will apply to. Combat Fury support finishers per characters. This will allow you to assign finishers for different forms and shapes of enemies. So let's say you have a human enemy you can apply finisher to, and you have, let's say, a spider enemy, you can apply specific finishers to the spider. So here we're gonna write the name of our enemy, which is dummy 1, and if we open our dummy enemy, go to parry attack, and here look at the character name. This name should match the row names so the system can pick the finishers. I also have dummy 2, and we're just gonna copy this name right here, and we can add a new row and name it dummy 2. Alright, so for dummy 1, go to the front finishers. In this case, we're not doing any back or stealth finishers or air finishers, so front finishers, and you can add as many you want. For this case, we're just gonna add 1. And here you have the victim montage, the attacker montage, and if you want to interrupt with a QuickTime event, you can assign it your QuickTime event here, and the distance for this finisher, and if you want to apply full damage to the enemy, you check this to true. Next step, I would like to do some change to the player character. So let's go open our character here. I'll go to the parent, and under combat graph, under light attack inputs, by default we have these finishers right here. We're gonna open this, and as I said, we're not doing air finishers, we're not doing stealth, so I'm gonna skip this completely and go inside the finishers, check, and make sure front only is true. And here you can see that the required distance for finishers to be triggered, you can increase it or decrease it as you wish. For now, we'll keep it set to 300. Alright, so now time to set some montages. So I'm gonna pick number 5. So this one is actually the attacker goes here. And here we can look for number 5. Perfect. Let's open the player finisher montage. First thing, I would like to reduce the blend time so we can blend straight to the action. We're gonna need action state notify. And this is the same process for every montage. You need to let the system what action is playing. So for this one, we're gonna do finisher. And for the collision response, we're gonna set it to ignore other actors. And the reason why we want to control the distance between the two actors, if the capsules are blocking each other, you're not gonna be able to reach small distance. So make sure it's set to ignore, and you can do this only for one actor, either the enemy or the player. So we're doing it for the player. And once this end or gets interrupted, it will reset back to block. Alright, so finishing, I already add my curve for the foot IK to fix the issue with the legs if you experience it, so do the same. I think we're good for now. Let's do the same for the enemy. We're just gonna call action state. And here you can stretch this all the way if you want, doesn't matter. And finisher reaction, we don't need to change this, we did it for the player. The blend time must match your player montage for the animation to sync properly. So let's go back here and assign the distance to, let's go 150. So we're almost there. So the next for this dummy, for testing purpose, we can go and make sure can be finished is set to true. Otherwise, by default, if you're using the actual enemy, it should have can be finished true by default. If you set this to false, you're not going to be able to trigger a finisher on the enemy. Let's give it a try. Let's save everything that we did and let's give it a try. As you can see, the animation is playing and syncing properly, but there is a small issue, and I want to correct this issue with you guys so you can learn how to fix it and to understand why it's happening. Let's try again and I'll show you. Pay attention when the player goes on the ground, when he's trying to get up, and the same for the enemy, you'll see them lifting up in the air. As you can see right there. So as you can see, it was up, it went up in the air, and the reason for that is in GASP and the Onion blueprint there is a footlock node. Let's see, go to mesh, let's open our Onion blueprint, and this node right here, foot placement, what we need to do is we want to set this value to 0 when our montages are playing to disable it. But for saving the time, I already have this curve and we set it almost on every montage, and you can see it's a value 1, but we need value of 0 when the montage is playing. We can grab this curve, and the default value that we start with is 1 because we want this to be 1, and only set it to 0 when the montage is playing. To do so, we're just gonna minus or subtract. So what we'll do 1 minus this value. So 1 minus 1 is 0, so this is how we invert it. So if this is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, and if this is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1. So basically that's the easy way to invert this value. Next step, we're gonna do the same for the enemy. We copy the same node and done. And now if we test, as you can see, the issue is gone. Perfect. So now we have a finisher for dummy 1, and if you want to test for dummy 2, we can do the same, and we can assign a completely different finisher. I already have some that already made, so let's go for example, let's go for finisher 4. I choose the same one. This is the hit. Okay, and the distance, let's go with 155 and insta-kill. Let's try again. So dummy 1 will play this finisher, and dummy 2 will play this finisher. Perfect. So you could see the difference between them. So I have some camera movement. Let's talk about that now. So let's add our camera gameplay notify. There's an error here. It says GAM instead of gameplay. I'll fix that later. The way I set this camera is I look at the animation first, and these animations, they have a counter and then a build up and then the strike move. So what I'll do, I'm gonna do 3 cameras for each phase. And the first one, we're gonna start right at the action. And I'm gonna adjust my notify length first. And then I will do where I want to position them. The style I'm going for is a little bit, I'm gonna zoom out initially, and then I do a close-up shot, and then I'm gonna pull the camera at the last action. So let's go for the first one. I'm gonna go with negative, let's go 60, and then the close-up shot will be 180. So negative 180 is close, negative 300 or higher is far. And this is on the x-axis. And the offset, I'm gonna remove this offset. For the height, you wanna look at the action. So this one is somewhat at the head elevation, so I'm gonna put 0. And then this here, there is nothing happening here, and he's going down. So I'm gonna go negative 15. And for the strike, he kind of jump off, so I'm gonna keep it to 0. He's at that chest elevation, so keep it to 0. Now for the tilt, I always like to add some tilt only on the X. That's how you achieve the tilt. So the first one, we can go with 10. Second one, there's not much going on, so we'll do negative 5. And the last one, we can do 15. And for the FOV, we're gonna use 45. So we are zooming in 45, and then we'll go with 60. We can adjust the first one and see how it looks, and we can come back and play with these numbers. So we can go with 10. This one is transition smooth, and the last one, it can be fast. And then we go back to our default locations. This should match your initial setup of the camera rig. So that last one is going in quicker. Let's try. That's perfect. That's really good. And we can pull this back a little bit. Let's try again. That's good. So as you can see, that's how you adjust the camera. So the next step is we just need to add our cues. So that will be sound, VFX, or anything that you may want to add. You can basically add them in new tracks, and you can add the notify sound. You can add either particle effects or the system particle effect. And same thing for the enemy. You can go to the enemy here, and you could simply look for the impact frame, and you can just add your VFX sound. So for example, here I'm gonna go here and look for my effect. Let's try with this one, and we're gonna offset this to 100, offset this to 50, for example, and we can add a track, and we can call sound, and let's go to our sound. Special hit. We can assign this. Let's give it a try. It feels a little bit too early. So we can move this here. What you could also add is slow motion. Right at the impact here, we could go and search for our slow-mo. And for the time, you could set whatever you like. I'm gonna go with 0.25 and let's give it a try. So we can push the slow-mo a little bit. Try again till you get that nice feel. That's good. That's perfect. Let's try again. See? Perfect. So yeah, so you can add the same thing for each. You can add this slow-mo, you can add your cues, and it's just gonna complement the finisher. For example, here at this block right here, I can hold this pose with a slow-mo just to give it a nice feel. So we can do a small one right here, and we'll go 0.25. And if we play, so he, as you can see, because it got a stop and he's also building up a punch, so it got that nice hold, as you can see. And then we can add a slow-mo here. We can copy this. Now this is just preferences, you might not want it, so you could completely remove this if you don't like it. And you can just adjust the timing and stuff. So let's go slower. So let's go smaller. And I can push this further a little bit. That's perfect. That feel balanced. So yeah, this is how I set up my finishers. Don't be afraid to play with those notifies. Adjust the length, the timing, the position of these notifies. Just try to explore these values till you achieve the result you're looking for. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. The next one, we will be talking about the enemy attacks, which gonna lead us to counter attacks. Until then, thank you for watching.